Okay. So what am I doing now? Well, I should probably tweet, shouldn't I? My plan is to play with Cluster API a little bit more. And test some new changes to the Cluster API, which should allow me to upgrade my Kubernetes cluster. Let me just get this tweet out. So there was an issue with the Packet, now Equinix Metal cluster API provider, and let me just show you the pull request I submitted yesterday. What you'll see is when we actually provision the cluster, we were just installing the latest version of the kubelet and kubeadm. What that means is even if you request an earlier version of Kubernetes, you were never going to get it. You would always, always, always get the latest and greatest version of Kubernetes. And I wanted to do some content on the cluster API provider to show how cool the cluster API is for doing upgrades of clusters as well. So what I want to do is just test this pull request. Now, this pull request was actually merged yesterday, and I had left a comment on it saying, hey, I haven't done the test for this yet. And someone very nicely merged it anyway. Now, what I can confirm is that the commands here do pull the latest version, or do pull the specific version using the apt cache on Debian and Ubuntu to actually work, but it hasn't been tested end to end, and I'm going to do that now. To do so, I'm going to run through the quick start, just following the really basic instructions of Cluster API, and then we will try and spin up a Kubernetes 118 cluster and upgrade it to 119. Now, okay, so I just need to prepare a few things. Now, what I would suggest is if you're watching and have questions, drop them in the chat. I always like a confirmation that my audio is actually working. So, I would appreciate a thumbs up from someone. Because the amount of times I started streaming and I've just not had things working, it's all too common. So let's grab my credentials that I need. So you all seen. Awesome. I have my API token. Let's store that in a file. Hold on, let me drag iTerm over here for a second. Packet. And have my code over, save the file, close it, and drag it all back. Secure as can be. Okay. Oh yeah, I need to actually do one more thing, don't I? So hold on. This requires me to actually export it like this, not just store it in a file. So kit I token. All right. And when I resize that window, it's going to show my token again. Let's fill it up with some random text. Okay. Perfect. And let's not confuse myself. Right. So now I'm going to use Docker for Mac as my management cluster and keep this really, really simple. Which means if I do get nodes, this is Docker desktop, right? Nothing fancy here. I am going to install the cluster API controller with the packet provisioner, my exposed environment variable, and that should be all it takes really to get started. Once we've got the cluster API controller working, which we can let go of the background, we just need to generate a cluster API configuration. And to do that, we just need to expose a few environment variables to tell it, what size the nodes should be, etc. Oh, I'm still in this view. Probably makes a bit more sense if I'm on this view. Yeah, that's better. See? Cool. So let's call this the comments. All right. So what do we want to do? Where is my SSH key? It's called MBP16. That will do. I'm using SE key, which uses the secure enclave on the Mac. It's pretty sweet. Let's go with AMS1. Is my project ID. Let's switch organization. That's better. And my project ID is this one. All right, now pod side or service side, I'm going to run them as a default. So those work well with Packet because it doesn't use our 10.x cider. And I'm not sure if the T1 smalls will be available in my region. I'll quickly do a recheck. We may want to go with something a bit beefier anyway, just for the lulz. Let's go with a C3 medium. X86. Cool. We'll call this ENV. Don't know why that didn't save to this directory. No big deal. So what does it want me to do next? It wants me to generate a CAPI configuration. Now, the way that the changes I've made to the cluster API work is it uses apt cache policy kubelet to search the apt cache for a version. Now, the way that this works is it's actually going to do pretty much a pattern match. So I don't need to be as specific as this example is here, which is actually quite nice. So if I paste that in, what I should be able to do is actually just specify. Oh no, well, CAPI might not let me away with that, will it? Let's try just going with 118.2. You know what? Let's see. Let's see what CAPI says if I take it off. Oh yeah, and I have to source. This is going to fail. So let's just echo this out. I need to source my env file, which I saved to the wrong directory. Should give me access to project ID. What was it called? Oh, it doesn't. Let's just try. I cannot type today. Echo project. Okay, that's better. We pull back this, take off the echo. Yeah, invalid. What's a full semantic? That's disappointing. The script would have supported a much looser representation. See if we can get a 118.2 out of this. Failed to identify the default infrastructure provider. Yeah. Huh. I did run cluster CTL. Did it fail? And I just wasn't paying attention. Did I just not run it? I don't even remember now. Packet API key. Did I export that wrong? Let me check. I did. I did packet API token. Were the docs wrong or is I wrong? pull this back. API in it. That should work. What did the docs say? I'm assuming the docs are right, and I was just being a bit silly. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah. Oh well. So that's going to install Cert Manager into our cluster, and then the cluster API controllers. Then I'll be able to generate our CAPI config, hopefully spin up a cluster. I'm hoping it works. Like I said, this hasn't actually been tested end to end. But the PR is merged, so now is a good time as any to test it, right? So we're generating a configuration for Kubernetes 118.2. Nice. And I should just be able to apply this to Docker for Mac. Awesome. Now you can now run get cluster API. And it looks good. Now I need to wait. What can I do in the meantime? Let's go take a look at the Equinix Metal new portal. Yeah, let's do that. So let's pop out this tab. So I already have a couple of clusters here. Yeah, but there we go. Let's just filter this on CAPI. So it's now spinning up our first control plane node. And I've already actually got an IP address. So maybe we could just follow this along as it goes through its bootstrapping process. Let's see. SSH, root. Maybe just not quite ready for SSH yet. Oh yeah, well, we actually can follow along with the provisioning of the machine too. Yeah, so let's give it a network and written some config. But it's not actually even installed the operating system yet, so there's no way I'm SSHing onto that just yet. Well, obviously, we went under a bit of a rebrand recently. The new packet.com homepage with our Equinix Metal logo. And it's got some information here. You know, Equinix purchased Packet in March. The rebrand is only a few days old. This happened this week. And we're now Equinix Metal, which I love as a name. So, you know, I'm going to be spitting out metal band puns for the rest of the year. And we can go to metal.equinix.com. And this is the new corporate site. Pretty. I like it. Nice and fresh, clean. As far as the portal, you know, it's pretty much the same as the old Packet portal. In fact, I mean, it is. It's just been styled to reflect the new Equinix Metal branding. The new cool thing that we've got, that I'll start doing a few streams on pretty soon, is the ability to request a new interconnect using Equinix Fabric. It gives us the ability to actually have a fiber backbone into other cloud providers. So you can run bare metal on Equinix Metal and have really low latency connection to AWS or to GCP, or as long as one of these regions are supported. So definitely something I want to be playing with really soon. Let's get our CAPI filter back on. Where are we on the provision? All right, cool. We're just waiting for the device to phone home now, which only takes a moment. So, I mean, that was pretty fast. That provision started at 3:29, and by 3:31, it was rebooting the server. That's pretty sweet. And I'll probably just SSH into this device once it does come online and follow along with the cloud init logs. And I'm hoping that we get a successful cluster and I haven't broken our packet provider. Because that would be sad. Sad, sad, sad. My plan was actually to write a test today. I should have submitted it as a draft. This PR No, where is it? Oh yeah, I need to provide tests for this, but people thought it looked good, which is nice. And it is relatively trivial. I mean, it should work. What will cause it to fail? I take the V off, which is good. I escape the dots. Yeah, this is not going to fail. I am pretty confident. So the last time I said that, oops. Oh, machine still rebooting. Oh, wrong one. I need to create a wee game or something to play while I'm waiting for these components. Or just be really impatient and keep hitting the port until it eventually lets me in. Either works. Right, let's scan that. Nice. We're definitely ahead of provisioning. Oh, we're not. Oh, abort. Wow, Cupid's already in. We got 119.2. It's debugging time. What went wrong? Okay, what have we got access to? Let's take a look at our cloud and output. I wonder if the app cache. No, it's not there. Ah. I haven't upgraded cluster CTL locally. Dreads. Let's spin up one more cluster. So what do I need to do then to make this work? I need to compile cluster CTL manually. I'm not actually sure how it gets the packet provider. I've never done this before. So when I do cluster CTL init and I specify the packet provider, I wonder how it actually delivers that to the cluster. I wonder if I can just do this manually rather than compiling things together. I'm in completely uncharted territory right now. So in fact, I know what I can do. So this is going to get into what's actually happening then. So when I run cluster CTL config, webinar, it's just boop. So when I run cluster CTL config, it's actually generating the provisioning scripts for me. So let's just pop that open. And I can just modify this with my changes. I don't need to recompile CAPI or anything like that. In fact, I should have remembered to do this anyway. That would have been smart. And you can see this is using the old one. This has not got our new commands in it. So let's just go to my PR and steal the code. Does it count as stealing if it's mine? Well, not mine, contributed now. No, of course not. All right, let's grab command number 1. See, when I don't have guests, I just talk to myself and I'm sorry. All right, so let's save that. And then we need to pin them. Boop, boop, boop. Is this the right one? Yeah, looks good. That says updated. Which template is this? That's the control plane template. So we just need to do the same. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same. And it's for the worker node. We can just scroll down here. Upload it. Oh, we've got some formatting issues. Yeah, that's good. Make sure I don't have those formatting issues here. Yeah, very good. Okay, so now I could just actually reapply this. I think what I'll do is delete -F that away, and then reapply it. And I'm not sure how long I kind of need to wait for that. Yeah, so it's kind of going through some sort of deletion and reprovisioning. I wonder if I can just tweak a few names. Yeah. Control plane. Oh no, because they're everywhere. I'm just patient. Now, let's see. Be patient or search and replace. Be patient or search and replace. 18 instances. Let's call it Cappy slow start. Now we can apply this over the top. I'm just going to hope I haven't broken anything with that very wide scoped search and replace. Sure, it'll be all right. So, yep, slow start. Now we just need to wait again until I get a new control plane node. It spins up and I jump back on it and check the kubelet version. But at least it now has my changes. That was naive of me. I don't know why I didn't think to check that. Well, we pop over to our thing here. This is still quick start. And we have slow start starting. My ferret is awake. There you go. Yeah, you can all talk to Zelda for a minute. Hello. That was a ferret sneezing, if you heard that. Yeah. You've not had a wee snuggle today yet, have you? It's getting to winter. It means that she sleeps for pretty much the majority of the day. Grows her wee winter coat. Right. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Oh, wrong button. Magic install system. Let's just get prepared, get impatient, and wait. Now, the reason I thought, let's go over that too. Let's try and fill some silence. I do have other machines. I have another cluster in this project actually. Let's jump onto that machine and I'll just show you what these commands are doing. It's actually quite tricky in Debian and Ubuntu to get specific packages because of the Kubernetes version is semantically versioned, but then Debian add on their own package version to the end of it. So it's not like you can just do apt-get install kubelet 1.18.2. There's then this extra version on top of that, which makes it just a little bit more painful to work out. So if we take those commands, I'll filter this back down so we can keep an eye on our slow start control plane. And let's just run this first command, and I'll run it without the assignment for now. So the Kubernetes version is passed in by cluster API. So right now, that shouldn't really do anything. We can just export that ourselves and set this to the value that I set on the command line, which is Kubernetes 1.18.2. And then run this again, and we get a trimmed version and an escaped version, so that we can actually use and consume that version inside of an awk script, or at least an awk command in this case. So you can see I've taken off the V, and I'm just escaping the dots because we actually do like a regex search. And then I assign that to a variable called trimmed Kubernetes version. I mean, this is overly complicated. It shouldn't have to be like this, but it's unfortunate. We then search the apt cache, and we're trying to filter this down. So let's go through this one step at a time, right? If I just do an apt cache policy for kubelet, it's going to list every single version that is available inside the repository. And we get it in a slightly weird format. And you can see here with 165, we then got -01 and -00, and that's the Debian and the Ubuntu version of the package. So they have an incremental counter for all of the changes that they make for that package, which means that we then just need to tweak this a little bit. So then what I'm actually doing is using awk here, where we're first setting a variable in awk. We have to give it access to the trimmed version, and rather than it being trimmed version equals trimmed version, I'm just doing version equals trimmed version, trying to remove as much verbosity as possible. Awk scripts are comprised of filters and commands, and that's what's in the quote here. Our filter is, we want to check whether using regex, which is what the tilde operator means, parameter 1, which is this here, matches the version that we're passing in, which it should with those escape dots in the version. And then we just print it out. What I should see here, that's 1.18.2. Let's try just tweaking trimmed Kubernetes version equals, let's do 1.5.2. It didn't use my exported one. Export Kubernetes version. I just want to show the multiple results. So this will be B152. Echo Kubernetes version, I get B152. We can then run our trimmed assignment again. Echo trimmed. We get our escaped minus the V. And I'll just run this in whole this time. You'll see that I also add on the head -n1, and that's just so that we get one version back, but I can tweak that command to show you the multiple results. So if I hit resolved Kubernetes version, we actually get a now Ubuntu and Debian package version number we can work with. And if I run apt cache here, take off the head, you'll see that we actually get every package version, and they're coming back in the correct order, descending from when they were released. So just by using the head N1, we can always get the latest version. Okay. Let's drop off this machine now and see if this one is alive. And the moment of truth is running kubelet version. It's not installed yet. Now that's potentially a bad thing. It could mean that our provisioning script failed. Or it could still be running, but it finished, it failed. Drats. All right, let's see what went wrong. Oh no. That's infuriating. Let's fix it. Okay. So the looks like Version kubelet colon for kubelet was not found. Something particularly strange happened. So what am I going to have to do? Do I have access to? I don't have access to the user data here. We can curl it from metadata.packet.net user data. Yep, and store it in my root directory as user data. So this is cloud config syntax. Let's get down to here and try and work out what hasn't worked. And I'm just going to run these commands manually, which means I'm going to have another shell. So I'm going to assume everything to this stage worked, which means these commands I did just run on another machine and worked. Potentially something went wrong here. So this is our, aha. Do we have, there we go. That's frustrating. So it's not, my initial thought there was, oh crap, the version of Awk is different, but it's not. It's this escape. That's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass to fix. I'm going to provision this manually just to make sure it works. And is my resolved Kubernetes wrong? Oh, it's still wrong. Do I have it trimmed? Oh, right. Why did the trimmed not work? I don't. Oh yeah, because the Kubernetes config isn't available at this moment because I'm not within the cloud config. So let's do Kubernetes version v1.18.2. Let's set the trimmed, set resolved. And it has now resolved to the correct package. Let's paste in our apt-get install command again. That works. Silver lining, at least. Now to try and work out how we fix this, and I don't know yet. Let's see. Yeah, you saw the version there. That was great. Okay, now can I double escape the? Yeah, let's try it manually first. That's finished. Okay, so problem is it's going to escape this for me, and my thoughts are it's not going to work. I don't. Because we're in a situation where we have this. Let's check our generated config. There are no quotes here. Those are being added. Because we have them here. So really, I wonder if I can just do that without the double quotes. Let's try that. Okay, so Make sure that still works. I'm not passing it anything now. Just run the whole command. This one. And take the quotes off. Maybe they're kind of superfluous. That would make things a lot simpler rather than me trying to work out how to wrangle this some other way. So that didn't work. Okay, let's put the double quotes back in. And we can't use single quotes because we have bash interpolation happening. Well, that didn't output anything either. Let's try. So we still have trimmed. Confusing myself now. Let's take off the head. Oh. Try just apt cache policy. Good. Version equals version match. What's this? It's not escaped. Should it be escaped by now? Yes. Okay, let's try again. Trimmed. Looks good. Apt cache policy kubelet. How have I broken my alt command? What have I done? Let's remove the filter just now. Okay, I like that. Version. Excuse me. That's not correct. The version should be our trimmed Kubernetes version. Instead, we're getting something different. Let's rerun this. So we should have a Kubernetes version. I got a trimmed version. And let's get a resolved version. Just a blank. Okay, everything is fucked. So I'm sure I'm being silly and I just can't spot it yet. Let's build this back from the ground up. Okay, we get what we want with the policy command. I want to go through awk. I want to assign a variable. Version equals trend. Kubernetes version. Let's not do the filter just now. Let's just print our version. Close off this. That's interesting. Yeah, that's not working at all. Riddle me this. Let's change the assignment here. EM. Okay. So you, all right, for the defined variables, you just don't use the dollar syntax. And it came to me in a moment of clarity there that that's only really for things that are inside of it. That are matched and after the filter. So that means that my version line was actually okay. Let's add our filter back in. Take off the command. The default is just to print everything. Still not matching. Game anymore version. It looks all right. We have a 118 too. I'm just gonna have to start verifying everything. I'm losing the mind here. Okay. All right, let's try this again. Print 1, that's what we're doing a match against. Looks fine. So 1 version. By saying if the regex here, then print it. Nothing. Can't believe I'm fighting with awk. Am I getting? I mean, I'm not getting that command wrong. I know that command. Oh. Let's revalidate this input. Something is clearly not working. Fuck. Let's just print 1. Good. Add a really simple filler. Oh. No, that shouldn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. The 2 works. 12 works. 1, 18. The variable would be fine. Okay. We are actually passing in 2, so let's just, for the sake of completeness. Oh. How is... There is no 118 to... Or something I'm doing, because it's already installed. Ah, okay. Oh, that was painful. All right. So what I need to do is confirm the variable assignment is going to work without double quotes, and we should be all right. So let's do maybe equals 18, and let's just go with 3 to avoid a weird thing. And we want to confirm that we can use B, and that isn't working just yet because this isn't defined within the Elk script. So we do the -b here, and if I can just get away with that, things will work. And just so we don't have a duplication of name, let's just do this. Make sure we get the right value. Right. Okay. That was painful. So the problem was these quotes are superfluous, but they do break because they were being escaped and failing the matcher to work. And we can just remove them from here too. Yeah. Sweet. And because I've now got my let's change Kubernetes version so that will work. Oh no, then the trimmed one will be wrong. Set trimmed. Equals 118.3. Perfect. Cool. I've updated this file, and now I need to spin a new cluster. Let's kill slow start and go to fast start. And I'm going to apply. And I will undo that change just so I can delete slow start. Apply. We got there. Unfortunately, it does mean that I need to update this pull request. Pull request is mirrors. I need to update the repository. Let's do that just now. Packet host. Oh no. Kubernetes 6 cluster API provider. Master. All the latest changes. And this is a fix. Remove superfluous quotes. See if I can get that pushed through by a few colleagues. One more. That's why things should be tested. Superfluous quotes that break semantic versioning matcher. Push this to my branch. And open a new pull request. What's in this command R escaped. I cloud init, causing the regex matcher to fail, and no version of the kubelet, kubedm, and kubectl are installed. Cool. That's good. So let's pop over to here. Refresh on this. Happy. Fast start is there. Not sure why these two haven't disappeared yet. Let's just give them a gentle nudge. Got an IP address here, although I'm going to assume it's there you go. Probably still. Oh no, it's not too early. All right, I'll phone it home in a second. Let's jump on this machine. Wow, 52 minutes to quote. Kubelet, not yet. Has Cloud Init finished? Is it still broken? Right. This is the fast start box. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Go down the metadata. Oh. New. New. Oh, no, why not just. I did update both of those quotes, right? Yes. Yeah, I did. Down here. Yep. Okay, let's try see if that machine is responding. Let's pull down the metadata. The user data, sorry. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. So that's interesting. Let's see this file. There's no Kubernetes version here. So why is that not being interpolated? We have another problem. Now, I grabbed that as an example from something else that I saw being posted in. But I may have made that up. Looks like I did. So let's look for this. Let's see. Find all the variables that are mentioned. Shit. All right, let's fix that. Now, if we take a look at what's actually in the user data, there is some interpolation. We can see the control plane endpoint is passed in. That's using the Go style templates. We're going to try and fudge that then. Let's go take a look at the CAPI code. I have no idea what I'm doing at the moment. Kubernetes, CAPI. Check the provider stuff first. Let's do this somewhere I'm logged in. Let's work in progress this. How do I do that again? Oh wait, that's the old. Oh, Jason, you were too quick. Shit. All right, let's try and fix this then. I wonder if he's available. Let's just ping him. I've sent him a message on Slack. Maybe he can speed this process up and tell me how that interpolation is actually happening into those files. Cool. Right. He says he'll be available soon. In the meantime, I will debug. And we've got some Go templates here. Proplane endpoint. See if we can find So this is our template. Let's search for that. You can see the call to go template. To nada. Well, it looks like this defines a Kubernetes version. I just need to work out how to get that into the provision or the cloud init data. Let's try template. Yeah, there's quite a lot of templates actually. This is probably what I want. Feels right. I can see the special handler for the control plane endpoint. Let's think. This is creating a new device. If it's a control plane, parses the user data. Yeah, that's okay. This is the right bit. And the API key is being injected. Let's see if we can see that. No. Oops. Punching my mic now. Oh, Jason is typing. That's good. This template execute. So the API key struct. I think that's maybe just poorly named. It was really just a variable map. I could add the Kubernetes version to that. How confident do I feel? Right, fuck it, let's do it. Okay, so we need to inject the version. We'll come back here. And the branch has been merged. Cool. Offer Jason some private if he doesn't want to stream. Says call. So I may drop off, but we'll see. Let's get a new branch. Fix again. Inject Kubernetes version. Cool. Join him, and Jason will join us on the stream. Client.go. At least get it ready to show them. In fact, I can just send them the link. Sweet. Get an assist. I'm pretty sure what I need. Something here. And it's not going to be an if, it's just going to be an always. There's always going to be a version provided. Equals that. And I'll just wait for someone who knows what the hell they're doing. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So I got myself in a pickle. I assume I should give you a little bit of context first.
All
right. So I submitted a PR yesterday and just said there was no test yet, but it's miraculously made its way into the master branch. So I thought I better test this, and I figured I would stream it. It would all work, and nothing would go wrong. And the first problem I ran into, you've already merged, so thank you. Cloud it, because the YAML is loaded and encapsulated with the quotes inside were escaped, and then the match on the awk was failing. So we're past that. The problem is I was miraculously expecting the Kubernetes version variable to exist. Turns out that doesn't exist. Now, I think I found where to inject it, which is API key struct, which seems to happen, which I think is going to pass it in at the template execute. Does that seem right?
Yeah, that seems right. Generally, if somebody was doing this with following the upstream docs, that's one of the variables that's passed into the templates when you call the cluster cuddle command to create the cluster resources from templates.
Okay, so if I just made a mistake and it's not a problem then? So sorry, let me confirm what I think you were saying there. I'll go back to my directory here. So if I see the command that I ran,
yep,
that's in a Kubernetes version here.
Yep.
And you're saying that the output YAML should have on API key. I better delete that now. Yeah, I created it here. Okay.
Yeah, basically that command line argument for cluster cuddle config cluster basically just interpolates the Kubernetes version environment variable.
Okay, so I am in a pickle. So that is my fault. So the reason I modified this after generating it, because I didn't want to have to build cluster CTL control cuddle myself. So I should just do that and confirm that this all works, right?
Yeah, and it should just be a matter of running env substitute. I don't think there's anything too advanced that would be replaced that you couldn't just do with the env substitute.
Right, okay. So the Kubernetes all uppercase _ version is fine, and I'm just stressing over nothing.
Hopefully.
Cool. All right. Well, I built this now, so let's just... Okay. Oh, no, because... yeah, there was... this is like the first 3 minutes of the stream, I had this question. When I run cluster control init provider packet, do I need to do anything to get it to use this version? Like, how do they correlate?
The version of Kubernetes and the version of the packet provider?
Yeah, so when I run cluster control provider, I don't get the new templates that were merged. Is there another step that has to happen there?
Yes. In the cluster API documentation that's generated and published to Netlify, that has kind of a set of steps that you can run to basically use the developer workflow and use a locally checked out copy of the provider. You would have to follow those steps in order to be able to run the local changes. Otherwise, it's just going to pull the latest published release that's out there.
Okay.
So it should be under cluster cuddle. There's a section. Cluster cuddle for developers there, 2.4.
Using local artifacts. Sweet. So I create this JSON file and that's it.
Yeah, that's just going to tell cluster cuddle when you run it to override the defaults that it has internally, or it looks up from GitHub.
Okay. I'm just trying to work out whether I need to create that file in a particular location or not. This seems to, I think this is assuming I'm maybe in a local clone of that repo.
So let's see. Yeah, that's going to be the local copy of the repo. You see. You may actually want the yeah, I think there's some that you can override with just the cluster cuddle config YAML there. Let me see if I can look it up.
I mean, I guess I could always just hope that the variable is there. I guess
I wouldn't expect it to be unless we published a new version of the packet provider since those changes got merged.
Oh, what I mean is, like, this Kubernetes version variable will be interpolated in low, right? Yeah, that you're pretty confident that. Where is it? Oh yeah, that's the one I generated. Yeah, I mean, you said you're pretty confident that that is when I run cluster config, that's just going to work anyway, right?
Yes, that should.
Yeah. Okay. Then I fixed the quotes. Maybe I should just be confident. So, like, if I want to test this without any local modifications on my side, does that just mean that we need to tag a release on the packet side, or yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Basically, what cluster cuddle does is it looks at the it's configured to where the GitHub repository is for the various providers, and it looks at the latest published release that's not a pre-release.
Okay. I guess I can just wait for the release. Or at least I can try playing around with this later. All right. I'm confident. I think it's going to work. It's been a trying hour and a half, but so my plan was to spin up a 118.2 cluster and then do an upgrade, and I kind of got down this rabbit hole of trying to use the new configuration without the manual modifications. So I mean, I can just do that myself, right? So if I just search and replace Kubernetes, I'm not going to be able to search and replace. Well, I can if I just be a bit more specific. And this will be 118.2. And I don't need you anymore because I was going to start doing that. That would have been a bad thing. And I'm now onto my third name of this cluster. I've had quick start, slow start, fast start, and now I'm going to do right start. so that I didn't have to wait on everything disappearing. All right. All right. Thank you for your help. You're more than welcome to just hang around while I spin this up and kick the tires on it, but I don't expect you to take time out of your day to sit and watch this. So.
Yeah, I have some other stuff I have to look at, some reviews I'm kind of backlogged on. But if you do hit any issues, let me know and I'll be happy to rejoin.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That was helpful.
Yep.
I'll speak to you soon. Thanks. All right. It's good to get help now and again. Hey, right start. Now, I'm not going to do the upgrade as it is getting a little bit late. What I will do is confirm that 118.2 installs, and then next week I will run an upgrade. So I'll wait for the IP address, the machine to reboot, jump on it, and hope for the best. We have an IP address, which is good. We can kill fast start. And let's here. Search resettings a bit annoying. I'll take that like that. And we wait. Looks a bit dark on there. Let's see if I can get my lights up. Gives me something to do for a few minutes. Whoa. Bright. Few minutes, few seconds, whatever. And I need to delete that API token that I shared with everybody. That was fun. Let's just pop this open and a new window. And delete. Done. I should bring a book to read during these moments. A bit slower this time. Might go play with some buttons. I quite like that one, but it's a bit small. If you could make it just a little bit bigger. Let's do this. Looks good. We got a little clash on the keys. New line expected. Fuck you. Download the user data. that it? That's nothing to do with me. I hope that's not it. There's a new line. I don't feel like that's my problem. That seems to run the that's my problem. Where'd that come from? Strats. All right, right start, final start, and then I'll have final to start, and I'm done. All right, one more time. Delete. SK computer. Oh, the API key's missing. It's not going to work. Create a live stream key that can be a little bit more expendable than the one I've been using, and then deleted. Nothing's going to. No wrong start will spin up here. Export. Export. CTL init. And I need to reset the Docker daemon, a Kubernetes daemon. And then reprovision the cluster controller with the new secret. I could probably have just started editing things and restarting controllers, but you know, resetting a Kubernetes cluster with Docker for Mac doesn't exactly take long. And I already feel like I'm committed now. Let's see. I reset that, updated my config. That's good. I'm tired now. This is stressful work. Come on, Docker, Kubernetes. Let's just see if I've got access to my control plane. All right, okay. So let's bring this back. Now the secret bit is done. My key is there. I'm deleting that in a minute anyway. I'm beyond caring now. So and close here. Reprovision cluster CTL, reapply manifest. See what happens. And then I am done. It's too late on a Friday for this shit. I have a comment. Watching a stream about upgrades and my virtual machine just died. Yep. All of my shit is dying. Like, I don't know if you've been watching for 5 minutes or the whole hour and a half, but it's not going well. But it's been fun. I'm learning about cluster API. So now that we've reprovisioned the packet provider with my now very public Equinix Metal API key, I just want to reapply wrong start. Let's confirm that it shows up over here. Moment, hopefully. And I just want to see Kubernetes 1.18.2 on this machine, and then I'll deal with the upgrade later. But we did fix the quote error. So silver lining, right? Why? Yeah, let's see what's going on. My credentials are only 73 seconds old. I'm hoping that's a new one. The controllers should be running. Impatience again, as always. Let's hope we get a fast deploy this time. This machine quick. On outbound, I want you. I love that this stream started off about upgrades and it's just turned into defect hunting, bug hunting. See. Patience is a virtue, David. Wait, I've got time. Don't need you anymore. Could probably kill that API key now, I suppose. I mean, all I want to do is confirm. About refresh. Wait. Yeah, come on, Kubernetes 1.18.2, 1.18.2, 1.18.2. I don't know, kubelet. Shit. Boo. Come on. Kubelet. That's a relief. Good. It worked. So I have two choices. can give this cluster enough time to become healthy and walk through the upgrade process, albeit 10 to 5, or I can say at least the changes I've made to the packet / Equinix Metal provider work. And do another stream tackling the upgrade. What is involved in an upgrade? Let's see. Huh. So apparently we can run an upgrade plan. I'm gonna drop my connection there again. Weird. Over here. CTL upgrade plan. Oh, plan. All right. So that updates the provider. So it's not what I want. How do I upgrade a cluster? Don't. All right. Yeah, that's useless. Next. I thought upgrades were a thing. There we go. So to upgrade the control plane machines, let's say we start with that. We copy the existing machine template, modify the values, create the new machine template, and then update the QBDM control plane ref. Right, okay. Let's go for it. Fuck it. So let's just do a control plane upgrade. I'm not going to do the worker nodes. We don't even have them yet anyway. And it wants us to upgrade the machine template followed by the QBDM control plane. This is our machine template. No, that's the packet machine template. We don't want that. Wrong one. Search for the kubelet commands. QBDM config template. I think those docs are wrong. Okay. Yeah, this looks right. Let's give this a new name. That is the worker. I don't know why I do control plane. I ain't got time for. I have time for everything. Scroll up. There we go. So I'm confused now because it does tell me to modify the existing resource to the new machine template and the infrastructure ref, which is a packet machine template. I don't want to change the packet machine template. I wonder if this is something that's just unique to a bare metal cluster. Let's just change this. All right, first things first, let's see which versions of 119 are available in the app cache policy. 119.2 is good. And because we need it here, we need to modify that. Save it a few times for good luck. Right. So in theory, if I just apply this over the top, we now have that our control plane is reconfigured. And I'm just curious to know what that means here. Okay. So it's not started spinning up a new control plane yet. It is still provisioning the initial workers. I don't know if I'm just being impatient as I normally am. Or if it's going to start doing that control plane at the same time. Now, the reason I think it might wait is because in our control plane configuration, we actually do have replicas of 3. And our cluster is not currently healthy. I actually don't expect it to try and spin up or do an upgrade of our control plane yet. So maybe we should just let's get us healthy first. So there's a command with a cluster thing from quick start that gives us a kube config for the cluster. We need to do that just now. Pass in name, copy final start. What's our cluster called? Here. Copy final start. Secrets. Kube config. Oh. Right, okay, so now I can do kube config equals copy start.kube config get nodes. See, our cluster's not actually healthy yet. We haven't deployed a CNI implementation. So we can just use the example one here to deploy Calico. And if we watch that, we actually should see as the Calico pods come up on each of those machines, and they're already starting to turn to ready. But that's really important. The control plane turning ready, particularly, now means that the management cluster, our local cluster API cluster, we'll see that and then start to spin up the other 2 control plane nodes. And now we're going to be in this really weird situation where I've already modified the QBDM config template for the control nodes. So, I mean, if we see a new control plane node showing up here, probably going to deploy 119. Yeah, there we go. So I wonder if I've sabotaged myself already. Well, not sabotaged myself, to be honest. The control plane, one of them being upgraded, is actually fine. This is one way to do an upgrade, but probably not the prescribed way to do an upgrade. Oops. Better check my calendar. Did I have any more meetings today? Nothing more important than this. We're good. Right. So let's close you. And I won't be ready yet, but hopefully it won't be too long. So that means the next two control planes, yeah, are going to spin up with 119. And I wonder, because we have the reconciliation loop with the management cluster keeping an eye on our control plane, once the other two are up, I could probably, I don't know if I can just kill that machine and it'll be replaced. I'm curious. I mean, sounds good in my head. Not sure if that's what actually happens. Because if we take a look at the cluster API resources, what we actually get are machines. I'm curious that if I destroy this, if it spins up a new one, which would be really nice in this case, actually. Thank you. I keep meaning to mute myself when I cough, but sometimes I forget. Appreciate it. It would be quite nice. So what I'm thinking of now, rather than there being an like a prescribed cluster control, upgrade this cluster command that redeploys a new control plane and swaps them over or something like that. So it might be as simple as just upgrading the control plane template, which we did, apply it to the cluster, and then kill the machines one by one and wait until they come back up. I mean, that's how I would do an upgrade if it was not using cluster control, using the cluster API. And I'm hoping that workflow actually just works. But what we want to confirm now is that it's still running. I'm sure it's not going to fail anymore. And I'm assuming you don't actually hear the beeps that I'm just going to go into. All right, so kubelet. Oh, 119.2. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I like that actually. So that means, let's watch this. Let's wait for that second control plane node to become ready. There we go, almost there. It now knows that it is a control plane with the master role. Ready yet? And now I'm going to lose access to the API server because there is an election happening between the two nodes. The first one will take a little while. It will fall over shortly. I'm not sure why. I have noticed this a few times now. When the second control plane node comes on, I lose access. I think they're just passing around an elastic IP that hasn't really settled yet. Let's see if we've got a third one on the way. So just 2. Oh, okay, almost there. So when it starts getting refused and not timing out, it means the IP has been allocated. And we're just waiting for the API server to start saying hello to me. Maybe. There we go. Sweet. That is cool. Now, how brave do I feel? There should be a third one now. They're both ready. The controller is going to try and get me a third one up. And then we'll see how brave I'm feeling about breaking this loop. I could wait for the third one to at least start provisioning before I get the hammer out. Too impatient. I'm just going to delete it. So I want to delete this one, the 118 one, to see if it gets replaced or not. Too late to go back now. I'm pretty sure this is the one we deleted. We'll wait for that delete to. Oh, is this a new one now? This live stream should just be called "What happens if I do things I'm not supposed to do." Right, that's definitely deleted now. What does Cluster API think of the world? Really? No. So deleting the server hasn't kickstarted anything ever. I mean, I'm in two minds. We are in a rather variable state right now with that third control plane node being provisioned. It could be once that becomes ready, it will pay attention to the missing node and start to replace it. I would have expected the phase to at least change now, although I'm not sure what API calls this provider is doing behind the scene. If it's just if it checks that it exists anymore. I mean, we could probably look at the code. It would be better if I had someone that knew more about it rather than me flailing around it. So I'm just going to delete it. See what happens. Oh, I wonder if I should delete that instead, or was it too late? Yeah, it's too late. So what I was thinking there was rather than deleting the machine, actually delete the concrete packet machine. Leave that machine intact. Because I was curious to see if the user data is baked into this somehow. And it would have deployed the same version. That would give us a slightly different upgrade path moving forward. Oh, this has got the name in it, and I don't need to type. It doesn't appear really to have like the user data or anything there. And it's trying to drain the node. It's obviously not going to work. I killed it. Let's describe this. I wonder if it did it notice that that machine disappeared? No. It doesn't appear that the packet provider monitors the health of the machine. I can speak to Jason about that and see if I can get a better understanding of what happens at that stage. And it's still deleting. I'm not really sure what's happening at this layer. And we maybe have a second control plane node. And it might be doing the HA dance. Oh, aliases don't work inside of watch, of course. And there's a very good chance that I've just killed my control plane anyway. It's very likely, or it has potential. I guess this is a good example of how not to upgrade a cluster. I would like to think that IP came back, though. That wasn't IP of the machine, was it? Oh, possibly. Must be an elastic IP, right? Must be. What is it? 147, 100, 226. Yeah, it's an elastic IP. To control plane nodes. I killed it. Right. What can I do now? Jump on both of these. See if my IP appears to be available. And this one. Nope. Yeah, my elastic IP hasn't. Oh, no, it has. There we go. We do have a control plane node with the IP. We're going to try to start it 4 more times. Come on. Faith in you. It was attached to this machine, right? Moved again? Nope. HTTPS, localhost. Confused. Now we do have a kubelet running. Maybe not for long. Back in a moment. There we go. Someone at my door. Okay, so we have a kubelet running. The IP address is attached. It's been running for 20 minutes. But it's just it's broken. It's not coming back. It's still in the deleting phase with the first control plane. It still says it's provisioning that other one. I mean, maybe I'm just being too impatient, but I don't. I don't think I am. It's weird. I keep switching between timeout, connection refused. It tells me that the IP address is bouncing around. Now we're getting refused again. API still says provisioning. Yeah. I'm just not sure it's salvageable. I knew upgrading the cluster without waiting for it to even really get into a HA healthy state was probably a bad idea. I'm going to just kill all this. We're approaching 2 hours anyway. I think we'll return to this next week. Oh, yeah, I'm tempted just to fight with it. Right, that connection refuse shouldn't happen. Speaking to the kubelet on this local host. I'm going to restart this kubelet. Why did I get connection refused? Oh, I think it only binds on that IP. Let's try it from here then. Check the logs. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, it's failing. Failing to find that other node. Some sort of weird eviction thing happening here in a loop. Fail to ensure the node lease. Shit. Yeah. Definitely broken it. I mean, it should fix itself. I don't really know how the leases are being managed. I think that the problem is probably I was just too quick to kill the other machine. Although we did have 2 control plane nodes that were healthy. I'm assuming etcd hadn't completed copying the data to the other version. And I have now lost etcd. And if you lose etcd, there's probably not any chance of me bringing back this cluster. Yeah, it's just not going to happen. Even an etcd on this. All right, I'm calling it. Hey, let's open Docker. Destroy the world. And let's deprovision. All right, that's unfortunate. Next week, I will spin up a 118.2 cluster, which I know works. I will probably spin it up with a single control plane node and do an upgrade of that first, then tackle the HA one. But I'll probably spin that up in advance so that we don't have to sit here and listen to me ramble on to myself while we wait for that to get healthy, get impatient, and destroy the entire cluster again. And we'll go through the various upgrade paths as well, and it'll be much better. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll see you all soon. Adios.